Khamzat Chimaev's wrestling skills and overall fighting ability were recently diminished by Bo Nickal. However, the latter's sense of superiority regarding a potential matchup with Borz has drawn the attention of Daniel Cormier, who took to YouTube to share his thoughts on Nickal's remarks. In short, Nickal believes that because Chimaev is primarily a wrestler-grappler, his skill set is useless against him given his greater set of traditional wrestling credentials. However, Cormier, a former Olympic wrestler who has been out-wrestled by less accomplished foes in MMA, begs to differ. I will say this from experience. In theory, when you're the better wrestler, you expect to be able to control the wrestling. In reality, it's not as clear a line to define as one would think. I was that, because I came over as the Olympian, the guy that could outwrestle anybody, and I could. I would have beat Jon Jones 10-0. I would have beat Alexander Gustafsson 10-0, no problem. Yet, they both took me down. The former UFC 2 division champion goes on to break down the difference between traditional wrestling and MMA wrestling. They both took me down, because at the end of the day in MMA wrestling, it's not just about shooting double legs, single legs, high crotches, and snap downs. It's also clinch wrestling, clinch positioning, learning to wrestle along the octagon side, defending takedowns against the octagon. I got taken down by Rumble. I got taken down by Jones. I got taken down by Gustafsson. I don't know if those guys can score a takedown on me if we put on wrestling shoes and we stood in the middle of a mat in a wrestling stance. Cormier makes a fair point, as he was taken down and even out-wrestled by a less credentialed wrestler in Jon Jones. Similarly, Henry Cejudo, an Olympic gold medalist in freestyle wrestling, was out-wrestled by Merab Dvalishvili. So, high-level wrestling credentials don't always translate in the expected manner in MMA. Khamzat Chimaev is currently the next title challenger at middleweight, awaiting the winner of the Dricus du Plessis vs. Sean Strickland Championship headliner at UFC 312. He earned his spot by running through former 185-pound champion Robert Whittaker in one round. Meanwhile, Bo Nickal's most recent outing was a disappointing and muted performance against Paul Craig, against whom he was hesitant to wrestle.